And now, it's Chewing the Fat Summer Sport Show with your host, Bevan Jones.
Well, g'day and welcome to another edition of Chewing the Fat. Bevo here with you, and this week it's the Adelaide Superloop 500. Who better talk about it than an Adelaide man himself, Todd Hazelwood. Mate, great to have you on Chewing the Fat, the 2014 Kable Young Gun Award winner. It must be super exciting coming back to Adelaide and being part of this big race this weekend.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's great to be back home in Adelaide, and it's been a huge week already. I've been here since Sunday and soaking up the atmosphere, meeting everyone and catching up with all the sponsors, and no better way to warm up for what's going to be a hot weekend ahead.
Yeah, you've actually got to my next question. It's going to be scorching. It's going to be 40 degrees, and apparently the cars inside get us up to as much as 60 and 70 degrees. How do you guys stay cool in there? Because obviously you can't have a couple of cold beers, Todd, so how do you stay cool?
Yeah, we actually literally have an esky next to us, so it's not like the 70 spec, but we have basically what we call like an ice box next to us. We have that filled with dry ice and water, and then we have a dry brake fitting which runs to a cool suit vest and pumps water over our chest. So that's one aspect that we use. That runs at about 9 to 10 degrees depending on how hot it is inside. But as you said, it's around about 25 degrees above ambient inside the race car. So obviously if it's 40 degrees, it's going to be around that 65, 70 mark. So it's going to be like trying to race in a sauna and trying to do a workout for probably nearly 3 hours. So it's
that's crazy.
Saturday is going to be particularly tough. It's our first race of the year, 250 Ks, and then to back that up on Sundays. So for us in the car, we're going to be losing around 2.5 to 3 kilos worth of fluid. And that in itself is hard to rehydrate and make sure you're ready to go for another 250 Ks come Sunday.
That's insane. Now, Matt Stone Racing you're a part of. Tell us all about Matt Stone Racing for those of the people that don't know about it.
It's Matt Stone Racing. I've been part of that team since 2014. It's actually their second year in the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship. And for Matt Stone, he's actually the son of Supercars Hall of Famer and SBR Racing founders, Jimmy Stone. So obviously, fantastic pedigree there, legendary name. And for me to be a part of that's very cool. So this season they're running a car in a Virgin Australia Supercars Championship with myself. They're running 3 Super 2 entries this year, 3 cars in the Kumo Series and a car in the Touring Car Masters, which is also running this weekend. So quite a large race team. It flies under the radar. Matt Stone Racing itself is well known for getting results on track and having the heart in the sleeve and it's all about racing.
Terrific stuff. Now, mate, you're obviously down here tonight for Burson. We've got just behind us, and you're part of a new line as well, so you've got all sorts of sponsors, which is terrific. Tell us what's happening tonight, Todd. Yeah,
it's fantastic to be here. Obviously, it's a massive trade show that I think is well aligned with the race week ahead. So, yeah, I'm here working today with Newlon, who are fantastic supporters of ours. They're actually our official oil supplier. We actually use their off-the-shelf oil in our race cars, which is really cool. We've also got another sponsor here today, SP Tools, who I'm actually ambassador for their engine department, which is Torini Engines, which is actually a new affordable karting concept. So I'll be going to visit them as well, so it's a busy night ahead. Yeah, very busy times. Now, I want to talk to you about your journey into becoming a supercars driver, because I heard a story that when you were younger, you used to work at Bunnings doing the barbecue there on a Saturday morning to raise money for your racing team. Is that a true story? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so sold a lot of sausages, certainly know how to cook a snag, as they say. And for me, it was we're in that tough period where sponsors were hard to come by, and I was just a young kid from Adelaide, and I had a big dream and not a lot of money. So we had to think outside the square. So we're selling the fundraiser Cadbury chocolates at school, and every weekend we're doing 2 or 3, or every week we're doing 2 or 3 fundraiser events, whether it be selling sausages at Mitre 10 or Stratco or wherever we could, just trying to raise funds to go racing. So I think in the pinnacle of selling snags, I think we did 120 fundraiser events, so that was quite a few snags in 1 year.
That's impressive. And how do you stay so fit? Because all your drivers, as you mentioned before, 3 hours in the car, that's an incredible effort, and 250 kilometres on the Saturday. What do you guys do to stay so fit, Todd?
Yeah, for us, it's all about being mentally in shape as well. So obviously there's a lot of emphasis on the physical aspect, but also trying to mentally stay in shape. Obviously we don't really get any breaks during the race like a football match or a cricket game where you get the opportunity to catch your breath and reset, whereas obviously in a supercar, once that green flag drops, it's just the adrenaline's pumping, the heart rate's up the whole time. The heart rate itself is around 180, 190 beats per minute, so it's really tough on the body, and every brake application's around that 80 to 100 kilos worth of leg pressure or brake pressure. So obviously the legs fatigue. We have got power steering, but every gear change is around 20 to 30 kilos worth of input. So, over 2 or 3 hours, it's quite strenuous on the body. And obviously with the heat, that's the other thing too, where you start to get headaches, you start to fatigue mentally, and that's where mistakes start to happen. So for me, I work hard in the off-season, do a lot of running, a lot of training, a lot of explosive power, gym work, so trying to do whatever I can to try and stay fit. And obviously coming here to Adelaide is always one of the biggest events of the year and one of the toughest.
Yeah, talk to us about Adelaide, the street circuit and that notorious Turn 8, and what's that like compared to all the other tracks around Australia, Todd?
Yeah, Adelaide's very unique. It's kind of got everything. So it's got the big curbs, obviously got the centre chicane at turns 1 and 2, which is always pretty wild. Big commitment is always required, and it's super bumpy as well. So you're literally dancing the car across the circuit, and then you got concrete walls. So you're scraping mirrors everywhere or knocking them off on a qualifying lap, and you're literally using those mirrors as a bit of a feeler gauge as you go around the circuit to try and maximise the track limits and get the most out of a lap time. So if you're fast, it's always super rewarding here at Adelaide because if you put a good lap time in, you really have deserved it because you're putting the car on a line and there's no better feeling.
And talking about this season, the season ahead, it's going to be a very exciting season 2019. You had a pretty good finish in the 12-hour Bathurst race. Tell us about the season ahead and who the other drivers are to watch out for, mate.
Yeah, I think this season in particular is going to be really exciting. Obviously, we've got the new Ford Mustang coming in. It's been a big rule change going to this year with a banned twin spring and triple spring springs, which has been a big talking point amongst teams, starting this year. So going back to what we call a linear spring package, which a lot of these main game teams haven't ran for over 2 decades. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a shaking everything up going into the start of the year, I think. And I think Adelaide's going to be hopefully a surprise package for us going into this season.
And before I let you go, I've been asked to ask about Gran Turismo racing and whether that's something you might consider in the future.
Oh, look, esports is certainly taking off, and it's quite incredible to see how many people are getting involved and the opportunities involved now. So I think it's a great concept that gets people, literally who are behind the screen racing to them, having the opportunity to potentially step up into a racing car. And I think with the graphics now, the feel of the concept that everything's involved, they actually are very alike. So it's quite cool to see people literally honing their skills on the computer or on the PlayStation or whatever it may be. And they're getting into the real thing and doing a really good job.
Well, Todd Hazelwood, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Chewing the Fat. All the best this week, mate. Hope you can do South Australia proud. Thanks so much. Take care, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.